How's it going? So, um, this guy in comments, he wrote DotaMobaUnionRu. So he wrote very nice article on engagement optimized matchmaking. So, in essence, what he's saying is that the engagement optimized matchmaking essentially does what it says on the tin, right? Because I was kind of leaning towards it's more slowing you down rather than hardcore controlling. Like, there is certain amount of freedom in which you can perform, but I think I would agree with him that it's probably it's probably elusive, like it's probably not real, because the core functionality of the system is to get you addicted and play and to maximize playing time and reduce, like he calls it drop risk model, like in here. In business it's called the churn rate. Churn rate is when people stop playing or using your product and go to something else. That is called churn rate. In here, in the actual engagement optimized matchmaking article, which I'm actually gonna put it in bibliography. I'll just create here bibliography and I'll put it in here so you can read the actual article. It's called drop risk, right? So self-explanatory, right? So the whole purpose, everything that is happening is just designed to get you hooked. And I mean, I think he talked about big data as well in a previous comment he made, and that's actually true. Big data, like companies like SAP, IBM, they use it a lot. Oracle, they also use a lot of, like, for example, if you look at basketball right now, it has significantly changed because of the way the big data because of big data analytics, essentially. So back in the days, people were driving, shooting mid-range shots and shooting three-pointers. Now the mid-range shots are completely gone. Almost nobody shoots them anymore, because statistically speaking, it's a waste of time. You either want to drive to the basket or you want to shoot a three-pointer. Right, so the game, like now, it's like a three-point shooting contest almost, the game. It's very different game now. Right, so big data is gonna dictate a lot of behaviors. And in here, like, just think about every pixel you move your character in League is basically analyzed. Do you know what I mean? It's a certain algorithms analyze all of that shit. And the whole purpose of this algorithm is just to get you hooked to the game. So sometimes it's more profitable to get you to win more than to lose more. Sometimes it's more profitable for some players to have them lose more than win more. Right? So the entire system is just so rigged. Everything about it is just designed to get you hooked. And we know that it's working because how difficult is it to quit League of Legends? I mean, realistically, it's like completely like a drug, right? I mean, people just cannot quit it. So we know that this system is extremely effective. Extremely. Right? I personally call League of Legends an e-drug, like electronic drug. I was thinking between e-drug or i-drug, like internet drug. But at the moment, there's no regulation in the system whatsoever, so these guys can do whatever the hell they want with your brain. I'm talking about they can exploit any type of loop or loophole in your brain just to get you hooked. There is no government that's going to say, hey, you cannot do that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no regulation on the internet. And I mentioned before, like in my previous videos, where unregulated markets were like selling cigarettes and putting cocaine into products just to get people hooked. At the moment they cannot do that, but you have to remember that internet right now is unregulated. So if there is anything that is close to cocaine or anything that is like giga addictive to make sure that you're gonna absolutely abuse the product, they are going to do it. Right? So you have to make sure that you regulate this type of stuff yourself. So the way to do that, of course, I already made bazillion videos on this, is like, first of all, don't play League of Legends. replace it with something different that is less addictive. You only need 3 days to detox your brain, right? Because they've done experiment, like I had this to do in here to find this article, but I just don't want to spend time. Like I have it somewhere, but fundamentally there was a research done on like rats, right? And rats were given a lever. It was like a lever, right? They pulled the lever and it would zap them with random reward, right? It was either a electrical impulse into the brain, or it was a cookie. I don't exactly remember. I think it was electrical impulse into the brain that would create dopamine. Like dopamine. Like it would zap them with dopamine. Now, first of all, dopamine levels were random. So this is very important to understand, that the dopamine levels were random. And the second thing was reward was also random. So not only do you not know whether you're gonna get the reward or not, you also don't know how much the reward was likely to be. Does that make sense? That behavior drove the mice and the rats to such crazy, insane. They broke the liver. Do you understand? Like, and you have to remember, through evolution, we are wired. We're still like, of course, we're smart humans, but at the end of the day, we are animals. So our emotional circuitry is still very, very old, right? That's why they do experiments on like rats and like dogs and whatever they do, like on chimpanzees, because the fundamental circuitry, because your brain has logical brain on it, but there is also the emotional part in your brain, and that emotional part is very primitive. It's very animal. It's like an animal, basically, right? So if you can tap into that, right, you can replicate that with humans, right? So what do we know that is extremely addictive? Randomness. Humans get addicted to randomness. That's why people gamble so much, right? And that's kind of, and dopamine, obviously, right? So if you combine those two together, you can drive humans to do a lot of absurd shit, or like that is completely irrational, emotional, and they just cannot stop doing it, right? And League of Legends is like one of those examples. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there is no logical reason for you to sit for 12 hours per day to play a kid's game, knowing that the only thing you're gonna get badge that is completely irrelevant. I already made videos where you can call food companies and tell them, hey, I'm Challenger League of Legends, give me free food. They will tell you, no, we don't do that here. You can call Riot headquarters and say, hey, I'm Challenger League of Legends player, give me a good job. No jobs available. You can call Tencent. You can call online on job search websites and try to find a job for yourself as a high player League of Legends, high ranked League of Legends player. They don't exist. So you have to understand that this badge is completely worthless. It's completely, it means absolutely nothing in the real world. Now, to a certain extent, you can say, oh, yeah, but I'm doing it for myself. I want to prove to myself that I can do it. But there are other things that you can do that actually have recognition, like finishing college is one of them, like getting high grades in your high school. Right? Not only do you prove to yourself that you are useful and smart, that is also recognized in society as being useful and smart, because it provides tangible results. Like if you take a guy who is a grade A student from high school, he's gonna be exceptionally good in science. So he can come up with, he can move us closer to things like curing cancer, I don't know, other things like building better engineering things, right? More efficient systems, right? Because that has some kind of tangible meaning. But think about League of Legends. I mean, you're a challenger player. What does that mean? It just means that you've been sitting. And okay, in Season 6, there was still some form of an argument where you can say, okay, at least it was some kind of skill involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember, like, top players that were professional players were top players on the ladder. It meant something. But in today's world, all it means is you just played a lot of games with some kind of brain dead champion like Mundo or Zack or Sion or some Ramos or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it just means you just rotated a lot of games. That's why the pro scene stopped caring about the ladder a long time ago. Like, no one cares now, right? So society doesn't care, right? Your friends probably don't give a shit. The company that produces the badges doesn't give a shit about them either, right? You can't go pro because they don't give a shit about it either. So why are you doing this? And the reason for that is because you are absolutely a drug addict, right? You are just a League of Legends addict, right? And that's it. That's the reality of the situation. And that is the system. We know it's working because you can't quit, right? It's very hard for you to quit. Now, you can probably try. I give you a lot of tools, but if you don't use the tools, you will never quit. You will continue to slam that lever as that rat in the experiment until the end of times. So I would strongly encourage you to review your position as a human, and then, like, what are you doing with your life, how much time you're spending, and where all of this is going to end in 5 to 10 years. Right, so I'm gonna provide tools in here, probably in here, right? So bibliography, and then tools to quit League of Legends. I'm gonna put them in here. So this article is gonna be in the description below. You can go ahead and read it, and then yeah, hopefully you can quit the e-drugs that is being like just delivered to you for free. And yeah, hopefully you'll get your life back, you know, because it's kind of like, I feel very sad understanding that, like, this is just, we need regulation in the space. Just the bottom line, we just need regulation, because some people have problems with gambling and they can go into the casino and ask for the casino to ban them because they have gambling addiction, right? So casino will disallow them to be entering the casino or creating accounts online. So that's kind of one of the methods of treating this. None of that exists in the world of League of Legends. Like, they want you to be hooked, they want you to play. So, because you have to understand, this game, fundamentally you are the product. Because League of Legends, I already made a video on this, like, League of Legends as a game is a PvP game, right? So what do they need? They need a platform, and they need humans. Addicted humans who will work for Riot for free. And that's addicts, right? Because you're not gonna make a lot of money on League of Legends as bots versus humans. I mean, that population of bots versus humans is so small, it's like, you're not gonna make money on this, right? So they need humans, and the way they get that is by making the game essentially a e-drug, right? So unfortunately you're working for Riot for free right now because they figured out how to hijack your psychology, I suppose, and just abuse it, right? Hopefully, like, governments are gonna step in, but at the moment it's not happening. So I will link tools to quit League in here. So again, hopefully you get your life back. Okay, take care, bye bye.